Oh, hey, welcome back to the shop. Today we're back on the Stitches Challenger. In our last episode, we spent a lot of time finishing up the passenger side front floor pan area and getting that all the finish welding, and we seam sealed and so forth. And we marked out where we need to go next, which is basically the rear footwell area and under the seat. There's a little bit of welding, a little teeny bit of fabricating that needs to be done and stuff like that. So today, what we're going to do is none of that. This fender has been bugging me for a while. Let me show you what I mean. We've not stripped this fender, and it's beat to death in here. And so, I thought today I'm really not motivated. I'm tired. I don't feel like dragging out the welder and making sparks and smoke and all that. So today I'm going to spend the day just chipping away at this fender, doing some metal work, getting this pulled back out, stuff like that. So let's get after it. I'm Mike, and you're watching My Car Shop. One thing I like to do is establish something that I'm going to use to kind of get patterns. Now, I have another set of fenders for this car. Well, not for this car, but off of a 73 Challenger, I believe. They're different external marker lights and stuff. So we have another set of fenders we could use for a pattern. But this fender, since we did the work on it, is actually pretty good. So we're going to use this as kind of a baseline. I like to use a piece like this to just kind of give me a feel on what needs to happen. So here, I'm using the front edge to line up against the front of the fender, which is close, it's beat, but I'm trying to get a feel for the shape. And we can see that on this, with that lined up there, we start to walk away, and it starts to roll in here like that. So that gives me some idea of how this is shaped and patterned. So we're going to go over to the other side now and figure out what we got to do to get this line pulled back where it's beat in over there. So again, using my same front edge, and my mark is there. Oh, so I need to just take my mark and bring it up. We're not looking for even within a 1/4 inch. It doesn't matter that much, but you know what I'm saying here. Yeah, so we're beat in there about a 1/2 inch, and of course our body line is missing. It's creased. It's a mess. It's a hot mess, and I must confess. So I'm pondering the best way to do this, and I got some ideas. When we had accidentally dented the quarter panel on the rear on the other side, we were able to come in with some squeezers and squeeze along the area that was dented and pull it out with some flat stock on the back. I'm not sure that's going to work here. It might. The second thing in a dent is we kind of need to do an analysis of how did it get hit, where did it get hit, and what put it in there. So we're hit down here definitely. Something hit down here and took that line out. But I think this may have been 2 instances. I don't know. But I'm guessing it got hit right here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the deepest spot. I think it got smacked right in here with something. This possible was in and now it's popped back out. I don't know, but our deepest dent is right on the body line right here. So the way I've learned to pull dents and so forth is to start with the spot that it looks like it was impacted and then try to reverse the impact, because what happens is if I was to go up here and start pounding right away without dealing with this, I'm probably going to stretch this metal. If I can get the original impact point pulled back closer to its original position, then what happens is the rest of the metal will relax, and a lot of it might just fall back in place. And if it doesn't, it will move back in place pretty easily. Now we got another dent right there that's where it's been hit, but I think this is our main impact point right here. So that's where we're going to focus. So right here is what we're looking at. You can see that if you look from the top. That's the biggest spot where it's dented in, and this is, I think, dented in here and here because of that. This up here, I'm guessing, is related to that. This up here is another impact point, I think. We'll deal with that after we deal with this one. So I got to come up with a plan. We'll see. This is the deepest set of welding clamps that I have here, and it doesn't quite reach up far enough. It misses it by about 1 inch. So it's unworkable to do what I was hoping to accomplish. Although, maybe we can. Got to ponder. There's another way we could do it using this as well. That's more complicated, and I'd like to keep it as simple as possible. The way I was going to do it with that, I would have to drill some holes through this, run some bolts in there with a piece of metal, and just use it like this and pull that back. We still may end up doing that, but I'm going to try this first. So let me see what I can find. I'm coming up with the idea. We've got another pair of these. I'm quite sure that they're holding something together somewhere on something. Normally they're hanging right here on the thing, but I got to figure out where they're at. Yeah, they're here somewhere. Okay, so we're squeezing solid here, and we're using this C-clamp, which is a total piece of garbage, but we're using that because I can't find that other. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. It'll show up. Probably about the time I'm done with this job, it'll show up. Anywho, use my duddy here and put some pressure on this. We can see it's starting to pull that body line back. Okay, we're also putting a little dent in here, but that's all right. So now what I'm going to do is take my hammer on the backside, and I'm not hitting the sheet metal, but I'm actually going to be hitting the angle iron, and just seeing if we can. We've already brought this out quite a bit. I would say, oh yeah, good Lord, we brought it out a ton. We've probably brought it out close to 1/2 inch just by squeezing that there in here with that angle. But problem is right now the metal's not relaxed. So if I release this, it's going to pull back in. And I wanted to say this about dent removal. We have the tendency to believe that the way to get a dent out is immediately grab a hammer and start hitting things. And I don't take that approach. I like to, as I already mentioned, push metal back into place as much as possible by reversing what happened to it, which means the biggest thing in dent pulling and fixing dents is analyzing it, spending some time thinking about it, understanding how the metal moved, and then try to reverse that process and try to do it as gently as possible. Every time you put a hammer against sheet metal, where you're impacting it is stretching it, okay? So we don't want to do that if we can help it. I'm going to have to in here, but I'm going to get on my angle iron in the backside here first. Make sure that's close. Yeah, it's on the body line good. So what I've got is a piece of angle iron in here with the edge of the angle right here. And this just barely, you know, it's actually quite up. It's not all the way up into it, but it's into it quite a ways. I'm going to use just a regular hammer. We could take this off of here and be doing it on a fender stand, but I think this is a good way to go here. So let's, right there. It's hard on the earballs. Oh yeah. Good. Okay, good. Let's see how we did. Well, I've got stuff falling everywhere. Yeah, real good. See if I can knock it up here a little bit. We've made a huge difference in this thing. Huge. I mean, we're down to 1/8 of an inch out here. This is probably still a 1/4 inch in. Yeah, about here. It's no, not even 3/16 of an inch there, and less than 1/8 of an inch here. So we're making good progress. I think I want to focus on up here right now a little bit. And now we're going to switch over to traditional hammer and dolly. We have a smile here, which means that's the impaction point, or not the impaction point, but the crease point there in the metal. And so if we're careful, And we do our little hammer and dolly work down here where we need to above that line. And then up in here, we'll have to tap it this way because we're trying to get this area in here to pull back out. We have two areas really, one here and one here. So we'll focus on this one first. This one's going to start coming out as this one does. I want to be very clear to say here, remember with metal, it's subtleties, little bits, little movements, not any great big high holy massive amount of banging stuff around. I'm only using this for a little support. Yeah, we got a little dent there. Let's go here. Okay. Let's try this here. I think I need to take my angle off now. Ow! Oh, those things just pinched me. Little bugger bit me. Make sure that didn't sink back in. I don't think it did. You guys were watching. I wasn't, but I don't think it sunk back in. Nope, it didn't. We're good. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm putting this in here, and then I'm going to be tapping up here. So we're putting pressure on this. Right there. Okay, so we're going to put pressure there. Okay. Coming out a little bit. Let's go on the back side now. That side. From what I'm seeing here, somebody already beat on this with a hammer. Yep, they already beat on it from the backside with a hammer. So that's going to add some interesting dynamics to what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, I'm going to work on this more, and we'll be right back. Okay, been working it. We're getting there. Our line is getting better. We still got to deal with that up there, but I'm still back here. I got this popped out. It's got a little high spot right there. Let's knock that back just a little. Looking good. It's amazing to me that because it was dented here, as you start bringing this metal back here, this, I call it the smile, starts walking out. And so you actually, to get this dent out more, you have to go back behind here and brace it in here, support it, and do a hammer off the dolly. Okay. And so I'm tapping there while I'm pushing here, and see how that came out a lot. It's just kind of just the way metal works. Okay. Somebody didn't do us any favors. There's all kinds of hammer marks. Somebody did try pounding this out, so I'm having to take other people's screw-ups out to get the work right. That's getting better. There we go. Boy, I got a low spot right there. That's going to be, just got a little dent right there. Let's try doing it this way. Yep, right there it is. I can feel it. There we go, that's better. We're almost ready to get the grinder out. Almost. Let's get this out up here now. Pretty good. Just rough metal forming right now. We got a dent right here, and the problem is inside of this, right here, there's a brace. I'm gonna see if I can get a pry bar behind that and pop that out with a pry bar, because I can't pound there because there's this inner brace in here. And a couple other ways we could do it, but I'm gonna try the pry bar first. Again, my last resort is to start cutting and drilling. I could drill and put a slide hammer in there. I don't have one of those weld-on stud things, but I've welded bolts on and pulled things. But this is a body line, so it's pretty forgiving as far as what I can get away with on the backside. So, boy, there's a lot of stars in there. I didn't notice that, but this thing has been beat from the inside all over the place as I'm looking at it. So, yeah, but I mean, holy crap, that's huge. That's just huge. Let's see what we can do with this little bitty dent right there. Well, look at remember when I showed you before from up here how that was? We've come a long way, baby. Here we go. It's a little better. Still a little stuff in there to work out, but this may just end up with a little more tiger hair than I would want. But let's get a grinder and do a little metal finish work now. I've got all these little high spots knocked down so that we're not going to create hot spots with the grinder. So let's get the grinder, knock this down to bare metal, and see what we're dealing with in here. It's feeling not too bad. Yeah, she's got some little wows in there, but yeah, it was pretty bent. But I still think we've come a long way. Made it pretty respectable there. So let's see what we got. Low spot right there. A little bit of a low spot in the body line there. This whole thing needs to come out just a little bit. This is the rocking point on the other fender. But we've got to do some more work in here anyway down on the bottom side. So we'll get to that next. But other than this low spot, which I'm going to get out right now, so you can see it. No, you can't really. It's just low right there. I thought it was high in here. I don't think so. I think there's another teeny little low spot right here, but that's so minor. This one here is pretty significant. It's probably a 1/16 of an inch. So let's tap that out real quick, and then we'll be right back. There we go. She's all stripped down. I got most of this all hammered out. There's a few things to be worked out in there yet. That'll be easier to do some of that on the fender stand. But my main goal today was to get this body line straightened back out. It's close. I'm going to put my tool back up there again to see where we're at. Yeah, we got a little wow right there. There's still a high spot right there. But probably have to pick that down a little bit. But that's a huge improvement over what it was. I got to see if I have any I think I'm out. So I may have to pick some of that up later. But considering what it was, yep, we made that look 100% better. We'll be able to tell some of this more once we get in primer, but there's a dent right there. Stuff like that. I don't know if we can get at that. Yep, that one we can. There's a brace right there, but maybe we can get at it. But yeah, looks good. Yeah, real good. Let me see what I got for. There we go. Looks good. The body line has a couple little. We got a massage out of that. We'll do that when we get to doing finish work. My goal today was just to get that knocked out. Get the metal roughed in, and it looks good. Little bit of, there's a little bit of roughage in there, but not bad. It's going to be less than a 1/16 inch of of Bondo. I didn't have any more black. I ran out, so I grabbed some brown and threw on it real quick, but I've got to make a road trip anyway to the store here in a few minutes. So I'll grab some and we'll get that sprayed up. I didn't grind the top of the fender. I'll get that done. I'm just not concentrating on that right now because I wanted to get, this was my point, was to demonstrate, you know, how to get some of this metal work done. You've seen me do a lot of it before, but I felt like I haven't done any for a while. It's all I felt like doing today anyway. And yeah, it looks not bad. You know, I was just thinking that if I actually would learn how to do this stuff, I might actually turn out a good product, but you know, that would mean I'd have to take some classes or something. And you know, as I'm starting my 59th year of life, I just don't think I'm going to take classes. I have no class, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, road trip, and I'll be back. You won't even know I was gone, but I'll be gone an hour probably. So that'll give that brown a chance to dry up a little more, and then we'll one more time. Well, I don't think that looks too bad, and there's no Bondo in that yet. There'll be just a little teeny bit. I did notice that we have just a slight this instead of like this, so there's a little more work to do. In order to take that to the next level, I'm going to do that on a fender stand when I'm ready, at the same time that I'm doing my patches down here and down here. So that yeah, same thing back here. We got a couple dents. But I think this is really respectable. It's 100% metal work using little taps, pressure, hammering around the smiles as you saw me do, stuff like that. So remember that taking dents out is about, just to recap, taking dents out is about looking at how the damage originally occurred, making an estimation to the best of your ability how you think it happened, and then trying to reverse that process. Usually starts with the deepest part first, not always, but usually. Get that pulled back, other things start coming into place, and then you just start moving things around. Today, excuse me, I just ate lunch and it's backfiring bad. Today we used this tool here, which I used as much as a pounding device, and we just used a body hammer. This is not my favorite body hammer. My favorite body hammer is somewhere else, and I don't know where to put it. It's here. I just did a shop cleanup here the other day, and so I know it's here somewhere, but oh, it's back there. I see it. Oh well, anyway, I didn't look back there. Those are the only tools that I used other than a C-clamp, a pair of welding vice grips, and a piece of angle iron on the inside. So that's the way we did it, and I think it looks really good. We're not intending to make it perfect. I will strip this down when I do this in here anyway. I will probably sandblast this part in here. We won't sandblast out here because that'll warp the metal. But, I mean, just the way it is right now, if we were to put a skim coat of tiger hair over that and sand it out, it would look, it'd be phenomenal. I'd like to do a little bit more on it, but my goal here was just every time I come in here and I saw this fender, it wasn't black, it had that big dent in it, it just bugged me. So I thought, today, I just need the satisfaction of mastering the metal. Some of you guys are aware that I do buy and sell a lot of parts, not just Mopar parts, but whatever I happen to run across, that's a deal. And I've also been getting rid of a lot of my spares. It's partly what I'm doing for income now. Stuff I know I'm never going to use. Project ideas that I had that I'm letting those things go because other projects have come or whatever, and I'm getting old, and I know I only have so many builds left in me. And I've got a bunch of spares from the 47 Ford and just stuff like that. So I'm just getting rid of like spares from projects that are done or whatever. Anyway, I sold a part the other day. Guy showed up here locally, Mopar guy, and I needed the cash desperately, but he said, I got something in my trunk you might want. Yeah, let me show it to you. If you've been around the channel for any length of time, you know that our Stitches Challenger was a 318 automatic car, but we have a 440 and a 4-speed and everything to put in it. So that's what it's going to be. Well, we go back to his trunk, and he says, I got this. How would you like that in trade for that part that you've got? He opens up the trunk, and I go, even trade? Yep, even trade. I'm never going to use them. I've had them forever. They're brand new. They've never been installed. And I thought, you know what? I can help you out, and I can get what I need, and I can still, So anyway, yeah, I didn't get the cash. Here's what we got. Brand new set of 440 headers for a 1970 Dodge Challenger. It's too good a deal to pass up. Those things sell for a whole lot more than what I was asking for the part. Really nice guy. So anyway, I appreciate the help, and he got what he needed, and I got something he didn't need. So, yep, we have headers. So the only thing we're lacking now for this car, I think we have the clutch, the pressure plate, the flywheel, transmission, shifter, clutch pedals, all that stuff, everything for the drivetrain, drive shaft, rear end, 323 with a posi, because you got to put a posi in your jelly, you know. That'll drive you guys nuts. The 440, the only thing I'm lacking is a bell housing, big block bell housing. I've got 6 small block bell housings and no big block bell housings. So, but I don't need it yet. We're getting close, but I don't need it yet. So it'll fall in my lap when the time comes. I know that. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. I appreciate you being here. It was a fun day hanging out in the shop as usual. We were able to accomplish a nice bite on stitches. And remember, even though it's not like the stuff we need to be doing, I'm going to be gone tomorrow, so I know I won't get to that tomorrow either. But it's still something that needed to be done. And remember, every bite is one less bite you have to eat later. All right, that'll do it. We'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget.